if you voted to leave the European Union in 2016, that historic vote when democracy came of age in the UK, when the people really had a say in the big issues of the day, if you voted to leave on that day, or even if you voted to remain, you must be looking back and thinking, what was that all about? We were told we had a binary choice here. We were told that we could vote and take back control and decide to leave the European Union. And now 2 years on, we haven't left. We could have left straight away. We could have just informed the European Union that we were leaving and gone to World Trade Organization rules. 2 years later, your vote and my vote has been completely betrayed. And betrayed specifically by one person, by the Prime Minister of this country. She has lied to us. She has deceived the entire nation. And in an unbelievable turn of events, she's actually made herself seem like the victim in all this. Well, she's not the victim. She's the villain. Theresa May is the villain of the piece. Theresa May has betrayed you. She has lied to the entire country. I'm not a legal expert by any means. But to me, what she's done is treason. She's betrayed the will of the people. And it seems that the Conservative Party hasn't got the backbone or the spine to stand against her and oust her. And the majority of people in the Houses of Parliament, in both houses, don't want us to leave the European Union. So what are we to do? What are we to do as little people, as the forgotten people, as the people who thought we had a voice and then realised we didn't? Well, like I keep saying, we should not give up on democracy. We should double down on democracy. And we should become the most political animals that this country has ever seen. The ordinary people, we need to become politicised, and we need to start voting not less, but far more. Then that begs the question, who do we vote for? The Conservatives have betrayed us. The Labour Party, the Labour Party under Corbyn is becoming a laughingstock around the globe, and they're dangerous. The Labour Party is a dangerous party now. They are completely controlled by the far left. They have the bully boys of Momentum calling the shots. And for all Corbyn's friendly and grandfatherly appearance, he's more like Joseph Stalin than he is like Santa Claus or a little gnome that sits at the end of your garden. He may look like a little gnome and behave like a little gnome, but in his heart, his dark heart, he is more like Joseph Stalin, who filled the gulags and slaughtered 70 million people, than he is like a friendly little elf or one of Santa's little helpers. So we can't trust the Labour Party. That leads to one conclusion. The only party in the United Kingdom, in the whole of the United Kingdom, that we can truly trust is UKIP, under Gerard Batten. And I would make an appeal for everybody in our movement. And I know there's hundreds of thousands of people who have probably given up on the democratic process because of what's happened. Don't give up. Start voting. Vote more. Vote in your local council elections. Start canvassing. Join UKIP. Join the only political party that has campaigned for 25 years to get us out of that undemocratic, increasingly Marxist, totalitarian regime called the European Union. Get behind UKIP, support UKIP, and back UKIP. What else can we do? We can write to our sitting MPs and lobby them and tell them that they're never going to have our vote again unless they change the policy. That might help. It might do something. Who knows? But I tell you what we can do, and what we should do in the tens of thousands on the 9th of December, Sunday the 9th of December, there's a march in Westminster. And It's the only march that I know of that is a pro-Brexit march, which is scandalous. Tommy's organised it. He's working very, very closely with the entire leadership of UKIP. Gerard Batten's involved. Lord Pearson's going to be there speaking. So this is going to be a really, really key event, and we need to show the media class, the political class, that we can get the numbers out in the same way that the Romaniacs can. Now, of course, we don't have huge funding. We're not backed by George Soros funded organisations like some of these other people are. We've got to do it out of our own pockets, and we've got to make big sacrifices to get there. And the sacrifices are big for many of us, but the sacrifices are worth making. Sunday the 9th of December is our last chance to get boots on the ground to save our country. And we need tens of thousands of people to come to that event. However difficult it is, however costly it is to you personally, please turn up on the 9th of December. Timings, people were asking me about timings on Facebook. As far as I know, the speeches are going to be around 3 o'clock. It's going to be somewhere in the area of Parliament. All the details haven't been given out yet. But my advice with these things is, as always, is try and be in London early, because we know that mysteriously when we have our marches, trains get cancelled, buses get cancelled, people get stopped on motorways, all sorts of things happen to frustrate, again, what is peaceful and democratic political protest. So my advice would be to get to London very, very early on Sunday, maybe 10, 11 o'clock, have a meal, have a coffee, go for a pint, and then make your way to the march. And more details of the march are obviously going to come out as things progress. But this day, this demonstration on the 9th of December, I think is probably the most important demonstration that any of us will have been on. Because if we get tens of thousands of people into central London, the government will get a shock. The government will have to sit back and sit up and start paying attention. So I've made my plans. I'm going to be flying in that weekend. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an absolutely magnificent event, and I think it could be a game changer in this movement. And it doesn't really matter what you voted in the referendum. If you love democracy, you should be standing with us, because what Theresa May is doing at the minute is completely undermining the democratic process. But we're going to fight on, and we're going to get the victory in this. But to do that, we've got to take a stand. We've got to get boots on the ground. So be there, 9th of December, and it's going to be in, like I say, the Parliament area. And I think that just being able to say that you stood there and stood for your country in years to come, you'll be very, very proud of what you've done, and we'll be able to look back. And I believe we're going to win this in the long term. I believe we're going to get our freedom from the European Union. And you'll be able to look back and say, yes, I took a stand. I voted leave, and then I took a stand. I got political, I got engaged, and I got organised. So yes, see you all there on the 9th of December. Somewhere near Parliament, not sure where yet. Somewhere around 3 o'clock, not sure of exact timings yet. But let's make it a day to remember. Let's get to London on the 9th of December.